Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga Moments. I'm Janice, and today we have a yoga flow for the completely and totally inflexible. So if you're one of those people who have said, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, then I got you covered. We got you covered right here at Yoga Moments. Today's flow is going to be on the floor, and if that terrifies you, don't worry. We are going to use props. So all stuff that you have at home. I have 2 books. I have chosen Harry Potter because they're thick and because they're hardcover. So find a couple of books. We'll set them to the side, but they'll help us with a little bit of support and range of motion. You may have noticed I'm sitting on a cushion. I've got my Good Vibes pillow. I also have a blanket. So find maybe a thicker blanket if you have one. If not, grab a second cushion. And then I have a towel. So nothing fancy. I just grabbed an old beach towel because it was on top of the pile and it was clean. So nothing fancy. Pause the video, grab what you need, and when you come back and unpause the video, we are going to make a nice little throne for ourselves. So I'm going to throw my blanket down. I'm going to put my cushion, put my Good Vibes on top of that, and then I'm going to come into a nice seated posture here. I'm just going to move my towel out of the way. So my sit bones are sitting kind of at the front edge and my legs are spilling off here. And if you're still sitting up like this, no worries. Make sure that there's no pinching in your hips. If you have to add a cushion or a blanket or a towel, do so. Or, if you want, you can put the book underneath and put the blanket on top of that. Just make sure that your throne, whatever it is supporting you securely. And when you found that kind of nice seat, we're going to take it inside. So yes, we're going to do flexibility, but we're going to bring it inside so that when we do become flexible and have that range of motion, we're supported. So there's no point in touching our toes if it's going to hurt our lower back. We want to be supported throughout the movements, throughout our full range of motion. And to do that, we're going to take it inside. So you can watch the video or you can close your eyes. And let your sit bones be heavy. So push those kind of down. Try not to hold any tension in your hips. And then find your pelvic floor. So those muscles that you would stop peeing in the middle of your stream. That's right, I said that. But at least now you know which muscles if you were confused before. And you're just going to lift up the pelvic floor. Draw your navel in and up, so not really a squeeze here, but just like a little embrace. Or if you have ever put on skinny jeans and you've zipped them up, that kind of abdominal movement, just in and up a little. We'll lift our heart here. And just take a moment to notice if your head is over top of your heart and your heart is over top of your pelvis. And then if that's available to you, awesome. If it's not available to you, don't worry. Just do your best. So some of us have a little bit of a curve in our spine. No worries. Just do your best. We'll bring our shoulder blades together on our back. So maybe a little weight in the elbows. And you should feel maybe even a nice opening across the chest already. So remembering that Rome wasn't built in a day, this whole flexibility and easy movement, supported movement, comes with a little bit of practice. And honestly, the hardest part is just showing up. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. You're doing awesome. You're going to be so glad that you did, because you're going to feel so good after this. So finding that alignment, you might even tuck your chin, just notice your breath. Feel the length in the back of your neck. See if you can maintain the pelvic floor, the navel drawing in. And then you can flutter your eyes open if they're not already. We're going to take our arms, we're going to take them right up to our shoulder blades, reach them up along the ear. So my thumbs are pointing back behind me, my pinkies are pointing forward. I'm going to, release my shoulders away from my ears. And if your range of mobility means that your arms are out here, no worries. We're all built differently. This is a game that you only get to play with yourself. So it's exploring your abilities right now And then we'll just notice how they change and grow throughout this. So we're going to exhale, let our arms come all the way out. Just notice the motion in your shoulders. And then we're going to inhale, reach it up one more time. So following our arms, our ears all the way up. This time we're going to exhale, right arm is going to come towards the mat. If you are not able to reach the mat, find your books. We'll come onto a book or the mat or maybe a couple books, whatever you need. So take time to set it up and adjust and play. There's no right answer. You can do one, you can do two. On an exhale, our left arm is going to come up and over towards the right side of the room. So I'm not really stretching to go as far as I can, but I'm keeping lift in the right side body. So that's going to kind of play with my flexibility here. But it's going to give me a nice long stretch. Keep your left hip nice and heavy, shoulders away from the ears. And just notice what happens after a breath or two. See if that kind of releases any resistance. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. So really using your breath here. We'll inhale, come all the way up. Take the left arm all the way down. Shake it out. And then we'll take it all the way back up. If you have to move your books, go for it. Then we'll reach up along the side body, thumbs to the back again, and again, just maybe bringing your shoulder blades together on your back to create that openness in the front body. We'll exhale, the left hand can come down to the mat or to the books, and then we'll exhale, reach across with the right arm. So creating this lift in the left side body, so actively engaging here. Engaging our torso, you might look up towards your arm, might feel good in the neck. Wherever you are, take a couple of nice inhales, see if you can lengthen them. And then let your exhale go. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your jaw. We'll inhale, come all the way up. Let our right arm come all the way down to the mat. We're going to take our books to the top of our mat. So one in each corner. We're going to come into tabletop position. So what that means is we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. If you have, if you're not that flexible in the wrist and this isn't available to you, you can come up onto your fists. Either way, make sure your hands are shoulder width apart, pardon me. And then index fingers are going to point towards the front of the mat. Inhale, draw your heart up between your shoulder blades, draw your navel to your spine. So keep breathing here, but see if you can press into that fleshy part between your index finger and your thumb, or press into all 10 fingers, whatever is more comfortable. Your choice. We're going to bring our knees as wide as our hips. Press into your feet. So just a little mindful connection to the earth. Draw yourself up one more time. Heart lifts up between your shoulder blades. Elbow creases are going to rotate in towards each other and up towards the front of the mat. If this is really rigid for you, soften, come back a little bit. This is what we're working into. So if that was a lot, pick one or two things. Maybe it's the hands, maybe it's the heart. And then our gaze is going to be down. So nice long neck, tailbone reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward. You got this. So follow your breath here. Inhale, we're going to look forward, lower our belly, and then exhale, turn our tailbone towards the mat, and we'll lower our head towards the mat as well. So really drawing your navel and heart up along your spine, creating a nice kind of arched cat. And then inhale, we'll look forward again. Lower the belly, drop your shoulders away from your ears, and then we'll exhale, tailbone turns towards the mat, crown of the head points down. And then inhale, follow your breath, look forward. So we're just warming up the spine here. And if you haven't done this in a while, it will feel kind of silly. and it might feel a little bit stiff, so just play within your limits here. Play within your body. We'll inhale, come back to neutral, so gaze is down. And then from here, we're going to curl our toes. And inhale, lift our hips, so really taking our tailbone up towards the sky. We're going to come into a down dog. Now, you might walk your toes together. Keep your knees nice and bent. Press into all 10 fingers of your hands, or that fleshy part between your thumb and your index finger. So nice long spine here. Create a little space between your shoulders and your ears. You got this. Keep breathing. We're going to reach our heels towards the ground if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, keep your knees bent. Doesn't mean you have to straighten your leg. It's just going to create a little stretch in the backs of your leg. We're going to inhale, reach the right toes or the right heel towards the back of the room. So just lifting your right leg up. And then on an exhale, we're going to bring it through. You can do this in one step or you can do this in several. Modify it if you have to. We're going to step our right foot up and bring our left knee all the way to the ground. So here's a good place if you need your books. Grab your books. And take a moment to kind of get settled. We're going to bring our right knee over top of our right ankle. And we're just going to inhale. You can walk the books back. Look up towards the front of the room. So letting your tailbone be heavy here. Press into all four corners of your right foot. So press into the big joint of your, or the ball joint of your big toe and the ball joint of your little toe, and then press into your heel. Draw your right hip crease back. There'll be a nice stretch in the front of your left hip and potentially in your right hip. So see if you can squeeze your thighs towards the midline of your body. So they're not going to touch, obviously, but see if you can just hug them a little bit towards kind of that midline. Alrighty. We're going to exhale, release the books. I'm going to curl my back toes, lift my left knee, reach through my left heel, and step my right foot back. So coming into plank, we're going to exhale and just lower all the way down. So if you had to modify that, don't worry. If you had to come to your knees, that's perfectly okay. And we're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, press our pelvis into the earth. Press our toes into the earth as well. Inhale here, lift your heart, gaze is going to stay down. So reach your elbows towards the earth. Find one big breath. This is cobra. And then exhale, release to the mat. We're going to inhale, press up to tabletop, or your choice, you can press right through and come into plank. If you come into tabletop, we'll curl the toes and send it up to downward dog. If you're in plank, we'll just meet you in downward dog. Shift your hips back. So we'll keep our knees bent here, really elongating that spine. So reaching the hips up and back. Elbow creases are going to turn in towards each other and then up towards the front of the room. See if you can create a little space between your ears and your shoulders. On an inhale, lift your left leg. Toes are going to point down. Reach your left heel back. And then we'll exhale, step the left foot up. So again, if you need to do it in a couple of steps, no worries. Draw your navel in and up when you do. So you can peek at the video. If you're in downward dog and your left foot is up, drawing your navel in and up is going to give you a lot more space to get your left foot up. Same with the right foot, but since we're stepping our left foot up this time, we'll go with that. We'll lower our right knee, grab our books, if we need them, and then we'll inhale, look forward. So see if you can draw your left hip crease back, squaring your hips, press into your left foot, press into your right foot. You might walk your books back a little more, squeeze your thighs towards the midline. You guys got this. Creating a little stretch in the right hip and the left hip. Just in different spots here. On your exhale, we'll reach our heart forward, set the books back, curl our right toe, lift our right knee. Again, draw your navel in and up here. We'll step the left foot back, exhale, lower down. So you can come down from your toes or from kind of a full plank, or you can modify and come all the way onto the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, let your elbows be heavy. Press your pelvis into the mat. Press your toes into the mat. And then inhale, just lift your heart up. So not very far, creating a little stretch and a little strength in the back body. Gazes down, and then exhale, lower to the mat. From here, we're going to inhale, press up, keeping our knees on the mat. We're going to shift our hips all the way back into child's pose. So your hips are going to come towards your knees. Grab a book with you if you need. So you might find that you can reach your forehead to the mat, and if you can, go for it. If you don't have that kind of mobility in your hips and your back, you might bring your forehead to a book. You might grab your cushion and slide it behind your knees on top of your heels. So bringing the earth up to you, bringing your heels up to your bum, and just letting yourself soften and relax, using your breath to create a little bit of space in the back body here. So working through the body here, we've created space in the right and left side of our upper body, and then in the front and the back with our cat-cow. Just creating a little space here in our resting pose, in our child's pose. So finding that support as we move here. We'll inhale, lift our navel to our spine, and keep lifting to come back up into tabletop position. We'll set our props here to the side. And then we'll reset in our tabletop. Once you've found that nice lift up through the front body, that support, so kind of creating this nice space underneath us, we're going to curl our toes into the mat, lift our hips. So this is our last down dog here. You might walk your toes a little closer together, press into all 10 fingers, melt your heart towards your toes or towards the mat wherever you are. And if you don't know which one, if it's your toes or your mat, find which one feels good. Creating a nice long spine, you might reach your heels towards the mat now. And then your choice, bend your knees, and we're going to walk it up towards the middle of our mat. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet. So this is a nice forward fold. Bend your knees. So it's not about, I can straighten my legs and touch my toes. Bend your knees here. Press into all four corners of your feet. So just behind your toes and your heel, both sides. Press down, lift up from the arch. And then we're going to inhale, lift our heart and our navel, so giving that front body so much support here. We're going to come all the way up into standing. So you can stay on your mat lengthwise facing the front of your mat. I'm going to turn just for you, just because it's easier. We're going to press into all four corners of both feet, so the ball joint of your big and little toe, and then the heel of your feet, or the heels of your feet. We're going to lift up from the arches, so creating this lift up through our legs, lift up from the pelvic floor, put your skinny jeans on, lift your navel in and up. We're going to lift our heart. Palms will turn out towards the front, and then bring your shoulder blades together. So let the lift come through the front of your body, and let the grounding happen in the back. So tailbone is heavy. Find your breath here, notice how you feel. And if you want, you can kind of even shift a little bit. just to notice where that support is. Notice if you feel longer through the backs of the legs, through the side body. Maybe even smile, you're showing up, we're almost there. One more breath. Now see if you can stretch your fingers, stretch your toes. And if you don't feel like you're getting a whole lot of movement, don't worry. You got to start somewhere, and you've already started, so enjoy it. And, you know, often we're looking for an endpoint. We want to get somewhere, but see if you can stay present, explore, enjoy. And then when you're ready, you can, in whichever way is comfortable to you, make your way back to the earth. So I'm just going to cross my feet, come down into a seated posture. I'm going to grab my towel. And again, if this is hard, come on up onto your cushion. We're going to take our towel, I'm going to unfold it and just twist it into a bit of a rope. So giving us a little bit of structure to our towel. We'll clear our blocks or our books out of the way. Thanks. Thank you, Harry Potter. And then we're going to come onto our back. So if you have a sensitive lower back, then you can keep your feet on the mat and knees up towards the sky. In fact, why don't we all start there? So everybody bring your feet to the mat. Knees are going to be up towards the sky or the ceiling. I like to imagine it's sky because I am a nature kid. So we're going to take our towel, we'll lift our right foot and just kind of hook it over the ball joints just below our toes. And then we'll reach through our heels. So I'm going to slide my hands down towards the end of the towel so that my elbows are close to the earth. And I'm going to reach through my right heel. So it doesn't matter if your knee is bent. I promise you'll still feel a nice stretch. You can keep your left knee up towards the sky, or if it's available to you, you might just let that left foot, left knee extend. If you do, reach through your left heel, keep your toes active towards the sky. Reach through your right heel. Toes are going to point towards your head. And again, you might start to slide your right foot up towards your face. See if you can stay nice and grounded through your left thigh here. So pretty much everyone I know has tight hamstrings, so this will be pretty intense for a lot of people. It's pretty intense for myself too, so if you think, oh, well, you're just a yoga instructor, nope. I mean, I am, but I also have tight hamstrings and tight calves, so we all work at our own pace. You're doing awesome. Take one breath in, see if you can reach your foot towards your face just a little more. Reach through that heel. On an exhale, we'll release. So bring your right foot down. We'll switch feet. And again, to start, I'm going to keep my right foot on the mat, my right knee up towards the sky. And then I'll reach through my left heel up towards the sky as well. So lifting that left foot, and if you're over here, no worries. Wherever you are, reach through that heel. And then with time, you'll slowly start to bring that left foot up towards your face. Toes are already going to point towards your head. If this is good for you, I invite you to stay here, enjoy it. Explore that reaching through the heel. Otherwise, you can extend the right foot. Toes are going to come up towards the sky on the right foot. Right thigh is going to be heavy. So reaching through your left heel here, creating that little opposition. Right thigh is grounded, left heel is reaching up. See if you can maintain your breath here. Almost there. One more breath, see if you can slide those toes up towards your face. All right, exhale, we'll release. not so bad for someone who says they're not flexible. We're going to draw our knees both up towards the sky here. We're going to finish with a nice spinal twist, so you can bring your arms up to the side if you have room. Otherwise, some ballerina arms, pretty comfortable. We're going to let our knees fall to the left. You might look towards your right. And again, increasing the flexibility in our spine, so increasing the ability to twist simply by using our breath. We don't need to force it here. Nice full breath. Notice where you feel that stretch. And then exploring a safe way to move, a very centered way of moving. Imagine there's a string in your lower back that comes right to the middle of your yoga mat or to the floor. Draw your navel to the spine and then let that string pull you back. So your lower back's going to start this movement. And then our knees will come back to center and we'll exhale, take the knees to the right. Your gaze might come over to the left. And again, use your breath here. So you have to breathe anyhow. You may as well get your money's worth. Finding nice stretch through the left side. Hopefully you found that you're supported. If you can't twist that far, no worries. You can stack your pillows under your legs. Mine just happened to find the towel, which is pretty comfortable. Now imagine that string in your lower back and draw your navel to your spine. Let that string start your motion, pulling you back to center. We'll extend the right foot, extend the left foot. If you'd like, take one big full body stretch here. Reach through the upper body, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Reach through your toes. You might rock the hips left and right. And then we'll exhale. So this is Shavasana, where you get to just completely chill and let go. You can bring your shoulder blades underneath your back, let your palms spill open. If that's not available to you, then maybe you just bring your hands to the belly. Find any comfortable pose. Close your eyes and just let yourself soften. Thank you so very much for inviting me in and for sharing this little practice. I hope you feel good. Comment below. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if there's anything else that you need or want. And you can always share, like, and subscribe. We love it when you do because we love connecting with you guys and we love helping you feel good. So from my heart and from the heart of my team to yours, I'm going to bring my hands up to my third eye in a little prayer position because it feels good to me. If it doesn't feel good to you, do what feels good. And from our hearts to yours, namaste.